study, because I really think that depression in first-year law students is a lot lower if you take one of his classes. I think the lightheartedness that gets brought to things, it's such a refreshing breath of fresh air when you're studying all the time. When you're studying all the time and you have a teacher that understands, he can feel your pulse. I truly feel connected with the man. You know, he understands. When I'm sitting there bored, he's just like, no, are we not feeling it then? You know, and it's nice to have that. And honestly, I'm just, you know, I told a buddy of mine who goes to USC Law, I told him we were, you know, again, we're in the club, I don't like going out, but we were in the club and this happened. I told him, I'm like, yeah, one of my professors is John Hallman, and he teaches at USC. Do you know him? He literally, his jaw dropped. He's like, you guys, how did you guys get that guy? You know, and I'm like, I turned to him first of all, I'm like, all right, smug asshole, like, what's that? That's just mean. How did we get that guy? But no, honestly, he's a well-known guy, and the fact that he's here tonight means everything to me, because I know he's got a lot to do. I know he's busy. Just ask him what he did today. Ask him what he had to do today. And, you know, he literally was just probably driving back and forth between everything he had to do. For that, we want to thank you, and really that means a lot to us. Next up, the second roaster. My man, Arteen, he is Persian. He is Persian. And he actually is the guy that paid $1,800 for himself to go.
Missing out on an opportunity like this, you know, and I'm going to be ripping on you too, Professor Matthew. So, you know, like Cyrus, I have a special, you know, bond with, I think, both these professors. You know, it's an interesting way that we're tied. You know, some may recall a certain pilf auction, which Professor Matthews, the extortionist, basically said he would not let me show my face to the Monday class without making a bid on it. I'm sure you know what it's like. You know, he just threatened you with participation points for doing it. You know, I checked, and that is considered duress. Even, I'm pretty sure it's intentional infliction of emotional distress. You know, not very charming of you either. You make Dick Cheney look charming. By the way, if I'm ever an auctioneer, and one of the items up for auction is a hunting trip with Cheney, I'll make sure to return the favor. So of course I wanted to look baller, so I bid on the trip. I recall the next day waking up with the Howman's trip certificate next to me, regretting what I did that night. Sure, you've been there once or twice, right? I could care less about the money I just dropped without knowing who would be coming with me at that point. No, it just dawned on me how crazy Professor Howman actually is. Of course, I shouldn't throw a stone. Sometimes a song filler starts playing in my head when I'm in his class. But I didn't really have anything to tie to that. I'm just crazy. But never in my life have I heard the stuff that the professor said in that class. I remember him asking the room if it was too hot, and if so, perhaps everyone should just undress and learn in the nude. Or, you know, we were doing a case one time in criminal law, and he said, well, if I was a cuckold husband, I would, and I caught my wife, you know, cheating on me with another man, I'd just join in. Or that an interpleader was a kind of threesome. That was probably the most exciting point of civil procedure I've ever heard. I mean, he would say stuff that, like, if I said to a class, I would probably get hit with a sexual harassment claim by someone of the opposite sex. But Holloman has an airtight defense against that, and I do not. As I'm sure you all know. So after arrangements of planning, I got together the people that would be going on the trip this night, and we got the night underway. I personally wanted to see the bottomless strip clubs that his friend on YouTube kept talking about. By the way, maybe it's just me, but what's the point of a bottomless strip club? If you're already at a strip club and dancing, like, shouldn't you just be like topless too? That's just me. But anyways, so we go to our first bar, and he suddenly decides to just do random assignments for the evening, and I was entrusted with the task of picking up a couple. He honestly expected me to hit on couples without the guys trying to kick my ass. Or maybe that was intention all along. At that moment I was thinking about how smug Professor Matthews looked when he conned me into bidding on that trick. By the way, I'm glad you finally showed up without a tie. I seriously thought all you had were ties. That wasn't a very good joke. He sort of messed up my joke because he came without a tie. So the next stop was the Rainbow Room. No, not that kind of rainbow room. This bar had the most hilarious old picture of Halleman I ever saw. He looked like David Byrne from the Talking Heads. I don't know if you guys do. Yeah. All that was missing was the oversized jacket, for those of you who know. As a gay man, I'm sure he's been discriminated a lot in his day. But I think he got more discrimination against that hair that he had. It kind of looked like, I don't know if you guys know much about that movie, but the bad guy with the hair all like, that's what it looked like. He then takes us to the back of the place to see the owner. This guy named Mario, who's the most stereotypical mafia boss looking guy I've ever seen. And one of the people in the group had to kiss the guy as one of the assignments. You could tell Mario hated it, probably because it was a guy. Attentions to... You really are a councilman of West Hollywood? I mean, how much work is that really? What's your biggest problem? You approve something, you don't approve something? Like, you're almost certainly overpaid, and... You go around having the owners let you in free because you threatened to shut them down, right? But getting back to the trip, things just went downhill from there. We left the Rainbow Room so as not to sleep with the fishes if we pissed off Mario. And then we went to the Hustler shop, on Halleman's suggestion, of course. I won't get into too many details on that because it was vulgar, and when I emailed the people organizing this, it told me to censor that. I found out from Professor Halleman that most guys of his persuasion would consider me an 8. Well, I thought it was quite a compliment. Well, you know, if tomorrow there's some disease which every woman died, you know, then I'd have options. So we finally went back to the lobby of the hotel which we were staying at, said our goodbyes, and Halleman just flew away into the night, waving goodbye with his magic wand. And that was it. But on a serious note, though, it was one of the best times I ever had this year. I'm so thankful that Professor Matthews strong-armed me into doing it, even though it was underhanded. But both professors are a testament to the greatness of this school, and I'm truly honored to have taken both your classes this year. Thank you for enduring this.